it really was the best choice for the movie.
The Scream films have commented on everything from slasher movies to egregious sequels, remakes, and requels. While the Scream franchise's commentary has almost always been fun and lighthearted, specifically targeted towards its constituents, other horror movies out there, will this new movie target a true threat to the industry with malicious intent? Well, let's get into it. Hey everybody, I'm KillJoy Jake, and instead of having friends, I have horror movies. You know, ones that are hopefully made by human beings. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of today's Scream 7 update, I want to get into a few little things that have come just in the last few hours or so. We have some new shots of that Texas Chainsaw Massacre playing theater, courtesy of @Scream_news on Twitter. I want to point out that technically the title of the original 1974 classic is The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, with a big space in between chain and saw. That makes me think that they're playing the film with that specific title, which is Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the requel film that is currently on Netflix from 2022. Hey, at least the kills are good in that one, right?
Try anything and you're canceled, bro.
Pine Grove's downtown also features a political sign for a Ron Lynch running for mayor, and after further inspection, I believe this is a prop for the film itself. There's a Ron Lynch in Oklahoma, but not in Georgia where they're shooting this. Also, that Ron Lynch was not running for a mayoral position. Could Scream 7 have a similar situation to It's a Wonderful Knife, where you have some sort of political figure as like a centerpiece of your horror movie? I'm not sure. I mean, Joel McHale is playing a father figure in this movie, just like that 2023 whodunit flick, so maybe.
Angel Falls, I give you Christmas.
It's a weird possibility, or maybe it's just fleshing out this small town. These pictures from Scream News all but confirm a fall or autumn setting for Scream 7 as well, as they literally tossed a bunch of leaves all over the street here. Last I checked, it's February. The leaves haven't even grown back yet to fall off the damn trees. I can't wait for spooky season to start again. I'm all about another fall set Scream movie. I mean, it's like the best time to set a horror flick, man. Getting into the thick of it, as KSI would say, Daniel Richtman, a third-party source who has been reporting a lot of really interesting Scream 7 tidbits lately, has reported that the 7th entry will deal with AI deepfake technology and, of course, legacy characters. I do want to remind all our viewers at home, though, that Daniel Richtman is a third-party source, so take this next bit of the video with a grain of salt. A grain of Debbie salt. For those wondering why a Scream film would comment on the controversial subject of AI, it's because it's a big threat to the film industry right now. Back in 2023, the WGA and SAG-AFTRA strikes centered pretty much on two topics: labor disputes and for companies to avoid the taboo computer software. Since before these strikes were even going on, big corporations that make movies and TV shows that we all check out have spoken with other AI companies about potentially replacing workers with some of their software, which sucks major balls. Big ol' hairy donkey balls, in fact. Thankfully, though, it's been proven time and time again that AI should just stay out of the creative field, after many people have made movies with the software. There's an Evil Dead one going around right now that Bruce Campbell has demonized in multiple tweets. Calling AI a lazy spit in the face to real filmmakers is absolutely groovy. Scream making a point to touch on this in their new installment wouldn't be totally out of reach for the franchise. Scream has always poked fun at different things happening in the horror space, and this would be no different, except maybe in tone. Scream is usually pretty lighthearted to its constituents, unless we're talking about Scream 3, where they ripped the Weinsteins apart unbeknownst to them. Still the biggest reason I have so much respect for Scream 3. AI would likely get a harsher treatment. It could be used for pure evil to aid Ghostface in their slaughter this time around, very similarly to a past film. The third Scream film saw Roman Bridger using a voice changer that's simply utilized as a new gimmick for Ghostface to manipulate certain scenarios. In my opinion, all it really does is take away from Roger L. Jackson's amazing vocal performance. Here in Scream 7, however, I think it could be utilized in an even better way. What if our new killers use this technology to replicate voices from the past, tormenting Sydney in the present? That sort of torment for our main final girl here could play into the issues of using the likeness of dead performers for new franchise continuations as well. A recently controversial subject for a very popular horror IP. IP. There's a lot you could do with that topic to reinforce the commentary angle that Scream has kind of lost, especially in its last entry. While I praised Scream 6 for trying to do something different for the majority of the time with the age-old Scream formula, it really doesn't have much to say about horror, rather doing an introspective meditation that feels like it's pandering. If 7 were to up the ante by touching on a sensitive topic in the film world now, and handling it well, I'm sure it would give this entry a little bit of respect, because admittedly, the series has hit some turbulence in the last few years. Now, while I personally dig that commentary angle, there's still certainly an issue here. Many fans are excited to see Scott Foley and Matthew Lillard return to play their characters from the past. Even though I believe that resurrecting dead characters completely defeats the point of these films, the genie is out of the bottle, man. You can't announce that these beloved actors are returning to a big franchise that they were a part of many years ago and not have them play these iconic characters. If their only role in Scream 7 is lending their voices to a few Ghostface lines, that's gonna be extremely disappointing and false advertising. I mean, they didn't announce that Drew Barrymore was a part of the cast for Scream 5, although she did lend her voice to that project. Had they made that announcement before Scream 2022 came out, everyone would have thought that Casey Becker was alive and somehow back in this movie. I'm really glad they didn't do that. After that big announcement, you have to show Matthew and Scott playing Stu and Roman respectively, or else the fans are probably gonna riot. I'm not saying you gotta bring them back from the dead, you don't have to resurrect any dead characters to do that. Flashbacks and dream sequences exist. But frankly, I would sympathize with the fans who would definitely be disappointed if that was the extent of their role in this new film. You guys know that I would hate to see Scream fall into illogical nostalgia nonsense, but the only thing I hate more than that is false advertising. I still have hard feelings towards Halloween Ends for that shit. At this point, Scream 7 has absolutely made its bed. They kicked off the big announcement that Scream 7 is in the works with a release date and the fact that Neve Campbell was back on the project with a big post from Sidney Prescott herself. Not only did they do that, they also announced that Matthew Lillard and Scott Foley are back in this flick, probably to play their Ghostface characters once again. Because of that, they have absolutely boxed themselves into two things. Sidney Prescott needs to be our final girl again and not third act backup like she was in Scream 5, and Roman Bridger and Stu Macher need to be in this film in some capacity. As much as I want to see Scream just get over itself already and stop connecting every single story to the past, this here is the film that they're teasing to us right now. Anything else is false advertising and frankly, a big trick to the fan base. You can't trick fans into seeing a new movie by giving them false hope that one of their craziest theories is going to happen. That's just a low blow. I'm really hoping that's not the case here, whether that aids the film or not. If Scream 7 decides to comment on AI and deepfake technology, personally, I think that works really well for the franchise. This series can definitely be criticized for being the white knight sometimes, even when its message becomes contradictory in some entries. I would, however, love to see this Scream take a hard stance against a real issue that affects its own industry. It's an excellent evolution for this series that feels like a big step in the right direction. Potentially another positive to add to the list here. Hey everybody, before we wrap up today's update video, please make sure to subscribe to this channel. We are less than 50 subscribers away from 30,000, and I'd love to hit that goal this week. Thank you to everybody that supports this page. Also, go subscribe to my gaming channel GullGotha for gaming videos and streams. Let's get that channel to 1,000 subs. Thank you all again for your support. How do you guys feel about Scream 7 focusing on AI and deepfake commentary? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you all again for watching, and as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.